Take three. Third time doing this. All right. So I was watching a video of David Soul reflect on where he was at that point in time in life. And then it kind of had me reflect on, uh, it helped me bring more articulation to a thought. And he was saying something along the lines that I summarized into people should begin to think on themselves. Then, once that is perfected, move on to a larger radius, which I think that's absolutely amazing. It's great because you can't give what you don't have. And once you put yourself in a situation where you're good and anything that you need, you know how to get, or you have a good system that gets you, that just leaves you in surplus of surplus energy, surplus resources, so on and so forth. And then at that point, that's where you can start to help others from helping yourself first and figuring out, okay, I need this, that, and this and that to sustain myself and see growth for whatever period of time. But then once you start to get that uh, surplus, that extra, then you can share the extra or give the extra instead of giving what is supposed to sustain you whatever interval of time. Uh, I then wrote down, realize that when you think of a goal, an emotion is usually attached to it. Most times that emotion is not a new one, but a familiar one experienced in a new perspective. And then I wrote down an analogy saying that it's the same as visiting a Chick-fil-A in different states, which is, familiar. You could put it to any restaurant, any chain that you're familiar with, and you've been to a location in one state and then went to another state or city. There's consistency, but then there can be like a like the vibe. The vibe would be connected to the emotion, and like there's a uniformity to how uh, McDonald's is nowadays in comparison to how it was in like the 90s and probably earlier, because you had different varieties of McDonald's. You had like the one with the play place, and then certain locations later on would get like the McCaf the McCafe. Some didn't upgrade to that until later on, but I think nowadays it's more uniform that when you walk in, McCafe, McCaf, then the regular McDonald's, and then you got the implementation of the kiosk in there too. So, you know, but when you walk into certain places, you know, you have an expectation. It was like when I walk into this place, it needs to feel like this. That's how I know that I'm at such and such location. That's what I'm, and you can use that. That's a sense that people don't take into account that are outside of the normal senses or the peripheral senses. Damn, that's still a peripheral sense, but like out of touch, taste, so on and so forth. It's like that sense of I've identified the or when setting a goal, you can think like when you think about how thinking about that goal makes you feel, you've felt that before. So when you're on your way towards that goal, the more you start to feel, actually no, maybe not, cuz well, you have to think about the result, like the after, like you reach the point and then what does that level look like? You don't want to get to that point cuz then you'll drop off from that point. But you also have to realize that when you achieve a goal to get you to a different plane or place, that becomes your new base. And your base is not like here, it's under your feet. So it's like that's where it's like if you live below sea level in a city below sea level, and then you move to a city that lives above sea level, then you gotta adjust to the requirements that it takes to like moving from New Orleans to Denver. You gotta acclimate. There's a requirement to live up there successfully. Like anybody could just go up there, but the conditions of the environment might leave you wheezing for your life, or you might be prepared, but then you can also improve, and then being that high up in the sky is nothing to you. Boom. And then lastly on the card, I already wrote probably like a summation of it starts literally with you, your mindset, health, routine, and habits, as well as relationships, especially and most importantly, the awareness of self and that relationship. And I was just feeling great just going through my cards and whatnot, and I really wanted to share that. And do what you will, water your grass.